Hello and Allahu Akbar to all the people of the world. The last session that I did recording, it was on January the 5th of 2011, which by mistake I said December. Actually I meant January 2015, and today is 6th of March. Time is 12 o'clock in the night in the city of Guelph. 2 months there has been an interval because I got sick and there was plenty of work, material work that I had to attend. Just like the computer, I was loaded with a lot of stuff. There seemed to be no room. And ironically, I will have to be speaking about discipline tonight. We were in Toronto and spoke to Ahmad and a few questions that reinvigorated me. I prepared some note about what I will be talking about discipline, which is one of the huge ethical standard of most of the people, whether religious or atheists. Discipline is a most important part and principles of the human attitude, of human behavior. When you look at the Baha'i faith, the entire faith of God and its most holy book, the Kitab al-Aqdas, which contains the laws and ordinances of God for the people today, and even the religions of the past, the whole thing is nothing really but the discipline and order to integrate humanity, human thought, human mind, the metaphysical part of us, into a proper force that we can reach and get our goals. As I said before, one of the prime directive is that the physical and metaphysical world, are side by side, exact counterpart of each other, as Abdullah says. If we look at our body, we are material, organized, and are a discipline and order that we call our body, and based on that it functions. So the same way has to be the spirit. Our spirit cannot be like a goni bag that you throw everything down inside it and you think you're going to be okay. We won't be eating everything. There are a lot of things, as any human in the world, we don't eat. We don't eat poison, we don't eat things that's not good for our body. We eat things that we can digest. We eat enough, we eat proper things in a proper way and whatnot. So, but it seems a lot of us, our mind and mentality is not the same way. We watch TV or associate with others and just materials keeps getting downloaded, into your system, into your brain, into your memory power. And unfortunately, most of it irrelevant to our need, to our use. And as a result, we have no room anymore left, no RAM power that we can install and download some proper material that's used for us. Discipline and order is made really by baha'u'llah and by nature, and even politicians and atheists. The whole goal is to make us to be able to do what to do. I remember when I was in India reading it was a part of the curriculum, one page, couple of pages, explaining about the Aldous Huxley's definition of mass and team. How a mass is disorderly and there's no organization and it cannot do anything, whereas a team, when it's a team organized under a plan, much more efficient it is. Aldous Huxley explains. I remember myself when my daughter Mona was young, 10 years old, maybe 12 years old. And she, like most of the kids, myself included, were messy. You go to her room, you must have experienced this about your own child or others or yourself. Her toys were all over, scattered in her room, and clothes were all over. And then the books were somewhere, and there were a lot of probably garbage, things that should not be there. And she would think that it takes forever, she says, Daddy, to clean it up. And I was saying, Daddy, it's not like that. Let's just get in there and see how long it takes. So I would get into the room. I said, okay, so let's classify. What do we got? We got books, we got toys, and then we got clothes, and then we got junks that we don't need it. Let's just pile everyone in a place. She'll go put all the books in one place, toys in another, clothes in another, and then we said the things that we don't need, junks in another. Okay, get a garbage bag, what you need, don't put in there, so they're out. Now look, what do we have? Books, okay, let's just put them in one place. Toys. The whole thing would take about less than 10 minutes. And she said, wow. I said, see, Daddy, if you're organized and disciplined, then there's lots of time. There's lots of room. There's lots of space. And I've always noticed in my life, I've seen individuals that are worried, they're fear, or they're not feeling very well, but they can't explain why. I tell them always there are events overlapping each other in your brain because you didn't solve one, and you have another problem or the top of the previously unsolved problem, and a third one because you didn't deal with it. Now it's just a mishmash of the things in your head, and you don't know where this disturbance coming from. Much like pictures, you know, or time you get, I used to get photos, and you know, sometimes the two photos, they go over the top of each other, and when you print it, you see two pictures are just on the top of each other. You would not be able to, it's a hard time to find out what these things are. Our system, if it is not disciplined and there is no order in it, that's what will happen. Our problems are not as often as big, but because they're overlapped, we left it there and didn't solve it, whether it was paperwork, whether it was some problem issued with the family or friends or money-wise or bank account. We didn't deal with it, and they just fall on the top of each other, and we feel so lazy to go back and to solve it. In reality, it takes a few minutes to do it. But because they're on the top of each other, it sends wrong signals to us that we don't know what it is, and that makes us tired. This is why the entire Baha'i faith really is nothing but that. You have to be careful that this discipline and order does not become a natural one, doesn't become a disciplinarian like a military force. If a person wants to become disciplined like the people in military in his ordinary life, then you suffer all the time because others are not, you know, like you. They don't keep their promises, or they're messy, or they're not serious, and you are different among them always, you know. And they make fun of you, or they think you're a strict person. You can't, you know, melt and mix with people. We have to remember that. Life is not an office. It's not a career. Life has to be living the way the nature is. There's a discipline in our body, in our system, but it's a natural order, natural discipline. And Baha'u'llah suggests, you know, when you look at the writing and the ordinance of Baha'u'llah, the very first one, I think, which is the engine of the power to have discipline, is the willpower. If we don't have willpower, we're like a car with no brake. Or we're like a house with no windows. Anything could get into it. Like a computer program with no antivirus system. Anything can come in and get stuff infected. Computer gets infected with an antivirus. The man without willpower, it just does not know when to say no to the things he doesn't like, or yes to the things that he has. So Baha'u'llah tells us, for example, do fasting. This is the time of fasting right now. And fasting, the first thing it does, it just makes us to use our willpower to simply say no. By the time body says, no, I want to eat, body's like an animal inside. It's an animal program. Human control says, no, you can't eat now. You have to eat, at 6 o'clock in the evening. Or you can't drink. So when human comes to order the body, it's like taking control of his dog, taking control of his animal. Then this animal becomes happier under the rule of the man, because he wouldn't do things that makes him too fat or sick or go eat, garbage. This makes our willpower to expand. A lot of time based on what we want to eat. We're sick. A lot of our diseases is just simply because, okay, we eat this and that. Maybe we should just have a break on it, and once in a year, 19 days, to say no. Not this time. Within these 12 hours, you're not going to eat or drink physically. And then body has to deal with this and learn that there are order. And this makes it to kind of reboots the system physically. And that's why we get stronger. But mentally and physically, we create a lot of willpower. A lot of people in their life, because of the lack of willpower, they get into alcohol, into a lot of other situations that they should just say no. A kid who's grown up in a Baha'i family, or even other religion, under religious discipline such as fasting, he can't be bullied by the other children in school. He won't be. They can't bully him. He has learned to say no. So this discipline, it's within us, but we have to be